Hello and welcome to the first episode of Hyrule History Updated. Hyrule History has been a series for about 3 years now, and I started working on the Skull Kid video about 5 years ago. In that time, lots happened, an entire new game has come out, and the sequel for it's already been announced. So obviously the content within my previous videos might need a little bit of updating, and that's the purpose of this series. I'll make one of these probably every 6 months or so, and we'll essentially go over the topics of Hyrule history and include any new information that's come to light. This will also be a good opportunity to mention anything I might have gotten wrong or didn't explain very well. So without further ado, let's get started. Since I first wrote the script for Skull Kid, which was a few years before I uploaded the video, the Skull Kid has actually gotten a lot of love from Nintendo. The only new occurrences of the Skull Kid in the official timeline is in Breath of the Wild, which is at the end of all timelines. And truthfully, it isn't a guaranteed connection, more of an interesting possibility. Breath of the Wild, like dozens of other Zelda games, has its own take on the Lost Woods. In this iteration, the Lost Woods reveals itself as a spooky forest covered in a dense layer of fog. A path through can be found by following the blown embers of your torch. What is interesting, however, and what we are interested in, is what occurs if you do get lost. Throughout your journey, haunting, playful, taunting music is heard in the background. Sounds of hollow wooden things bouncing off one another like a xylophone can be heard, giving the feeling that something is out there watching you. And as the fog takes you and returns you to the entrance, you hear this. I am utterly convinced that that's the voice of a Skull Kid preying on you as you finally lose your way. The voice sounds almost identical to the Skull Kids of games past. Check this out. The hollow xylophone sounds could be their instruments bouncing off the trees, or perhaps a whole new instrument. I don't know, that's all I really have proof for, but it seems perfect to me. The fact that they're off screen just makes it creepier as far as I'm concerned. Out of the official timeline, Skull Kid has gotten plenty of love as well. In Smash Bros. Ultimate, the Skull Kid wearing Majora's Mask maintains his place as an assist trophy, but both he and the generic Skull Kid appear as spirits. The generic Skull Kid appears as a grab-type spirit with no traits, and the Skull Kid appears as Skull Kid in Majora's Mask, a grab-type spirit as well that saps the opponent's life force when they're struck. Skull Kid also has his first directly controllable appearance in Hyrule Warriors, using his ocarina to fight and creating puppets a la Twilight Princess. He also plays a role in Linkle's storyline, serving as her antagonist for part of it. As well, he appears as part of Young Link's Focus Spirit attack and is a color palette for one of Lana's costumes. So all in all, Skull Kid got a potential cameo in Breath of the Wild, an assist trophy as well as 2 spirits in Smash Ultimate, and representation as well as direct control in Hyrule Warriors. All in all, Skull Kid's made out pretty good since my video. Okay, I have a bone to pick with you guys. Look at this, and these. Why are people so hostile? Well, actually, it probably isn't any of you, because I think the chance of non-subscribers watching this update video is unlikely, and none of my subscribers would ever act like this, right? Right? Look, let's get their new appearances out of the way so I can get into my tangent. No new canon appearances in the timeline, but they do get a grab-type spirit in Ultimate that slightly decreases jump height. They also appear as by far the most adorable enemies in Cadence of Hyrule. Also, commenter ZethN64 pointed out something pretty interesting that gives more weight to the idea that ReDead are made out of clay as opposed to flesh. In a Nintendo Power issue that predates Ocarina of Time's release date, the ReDead are actually referenced to as made of mud or dirt. This doesn't 100% prove it, as there is still contradictory primary source evidence, but it does prove that the clay theory wasn't something invented just for the Smash Bros. Trophies. Okay, there we go. All the nice stuff is done. Time for some righteous justice. I'm about to get pretty smarmy, but I want you to realize that if you are someone who commented about the Gibdo in a nice way, this wrath is not directed towards you. It's directed towards these smug assholes. Look, ReDead and Gibdo are not the same thing, at all, whatsoever. If you think so, you're wrong. Completely, utterly wrong. You're wrong, you're bad, you should feel bad, and you're probably the reason bad things happen in this world, like mystical seeds of courage getting cancelled. Look, I get that sometimes if you burn bandages off of a Gibdo, it'll turn into a ReDead. Obviously I know that, I'm not dumb. I reread every wiki page about 1 billion times before the video's done. You want to know why that doesn't mean that ReDead are the same as Gibdo, and why I didn't include it in my video? Well, because not only is it a video on ReDead, not Gibdo, but it barely ever happens. I swear to Hylia that the people commenting this have only ever played Majora's Mask and only Majora's Mask, and just assumed that this happened in every other Zelda game as well. Do you want to know what games the Gibdo turn into ReDead in? Oh, sorry, I stated that wrong. I said games, when it should have just been the singular, game, because it literally only happens in Majora's Mask. That is the only one. Well, I guess it happens in Cadence of Hyrule too, if you want to count that. You want to know what games the Gibdo do not turn into ReDead? Well, I'm happy to provide. Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time. Yes, all the versions, all of them. Any memories you have of Gibdo turning into ReDead are false. Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, Four Swords, Minish Cap, Triforce Heroes. This is final. This is absolute. You are wrong. From now on, every time I hear somebody accuse me of being wrong about the Gibdo and that ReDead and Gibdo are actually the same thing, I'm gonna start a new Dark Souls playthrough just so I can kill Priscilla, because goodness doesn't belong in this dark, evil world. Sorry about that. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Eiror's Wind is also present in Hyrule Warriors as an assist badge in the Bazaar and as part of Zelda's moveset. The only attention Valu has gotten since my video is as a spirit in Smash Bros. Ultimate with the falling immunity ability. Sadly, no dead hand love. No new appearances from the Keaton, but this is a good chance to remind you to go subscribe to my friend Nurchin.
This communication with spirits was important as well, because, like in animism, that means communication with all creatures, including animals. This may have inspired the idea behind the wizard familiar many years later. I think my familiar is probably the drop bear. Oh, there you are. Anyway, it wasn't only animals that were seen in depictions of wizards.
In the video I did on Fierce Deity Link, I forgot to mention that the Fierce Deity Link appeared as a spirit in Smash Ultimate, boosting sword attacks. So in the Fierce Deity video, I spend a great deal of the theory section talking about the connections between the Fierce Deity and the Buddhist concept of wrathful deities. In the replies, a fellow theorist by the name of Cuckoo Lover accused me of plagiarizing his theory. A rather fiery back and forth occurred, which I do regret as I said some rather mean things, but I was a bit offended because I was very proud of the extensive research I did on this topic. I even went to the actual physical library. But when I look at his theory, which you can find in the description, I can 100% understand where he's coming from. What he says seems very identical to what I said in my video, and his post on Zelda Dungeon predates my videos by about 4 years. We came to identical conclusions, and this is likely because although a lot of digging had to be done to come to the actual conclusion, the path to get there was fairly linear. I don't mean this disparagingly, but I generally don't crawl old forum posts for info in my videos. Not only that, but this Reddit user with this name I am definitely not going to pronounce because I don't want to upset the YouTube bots, beat us both to the punch by about a year, posting the same theory in 2014. I want to be clear, this isn't meant to be a call-out post. Cuckoo Lover worked things out with me, and his theory is really very good. You should definitely check it out. He's a prominent member of the community for a reason. Just remember that I always source any theories I borrow. Even obscure ones on Reddit I could probably get away with, like in the Rito video. I swear I've sourced a Zeltic video like 1,000,000 times now. In real life, I'm a history student, and academic integrity is very important to me. That's all I have to say. And that's pretty much it for this first edition of Hyrule Historia Updated. I don't think I'll be doing the next one for a long while, since I doubt the Link's Awakening remake will be shaking any concepts to their core, even though I'm looking forward to it. Probably after the Breath of the Wild sequel comes out, I'll make an update video, or if I get too many things wrong in the future, and I feel like I should do an update. Please let me know how you feel about this format. I'm actually very curious what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there on Elden Bridge. It's dangerous to go alone.